Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. We're going to be talking today about why modern women have to share men. Why modern women have to share men. This is what we're going to be talking about. And again, I want to say I appreciate those of you that's been supporting Kuttah's Spoken Truth page, channel. All praises to the Most High for you. And we've been trying to get this truth out here. We've been trying to deal with it, especially in the so-called Black community. Especially in the so-called Black community. And what Kuttah Spoken Truth like to do, we like to address issues that we really don't want to deal with. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth, and we have to accept it and face the reality, okay? It's not no getting around it. It's not no getting around it. I will show you the fragrance, but I don't have on me. I like to show y'all the fragrance I wear for the day. The fragrance of today. But I don't have it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Let me speak to everybody in the chat. And I will be coming with more videos on different fragrances. I got over, not to boast and brag, but I do have a lot of fragrance, over 300 plus different fragrance. And I know that a lot of our brothers are into fragrances, right? Yeah, can you hear me good? Make sure my mic is tuned. Yeah, we're going to be talking about why modern women have to share men. I want to really know what your thoughts on this. I want to know how you feel about this. Because this is going to be the reality for a lot of women. This is going to be the reality for a lot of women. Okay? And yeah, I want to know what's your thoughts on this. Modern women is going to have to share men. She's going to have to share men. There's no getting around it. And I'm waiting for more people to come on. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for your boy. I appreciate it. Appreciate it big time. But to get to it, why modern women have to share men? We're going to see this more and more in today's society. We're going to see this more and more. It's not going to be an option like a lot of you people think it's going to be an option. And I know I'm going to have a lot of women come on here and no, I'm not going to share no men. You know, I know I'm going to have a lot of cornballs come on here because really a cornball is someone who's not masculine and they just pander after women. And then I know I'm going to have a lot of bachelors. Y'all call them Draculars. No, I call them bachelors. And you go sit down and think about what a bachelor is. Going to come on here and it's no, we're not. Yes. Modern women going to have to share men. Going to have to do it. It's no getting around it. It's no getting around it. You know, for far too long, we have given in to Western lies, Western civilization programming that they have put upon us, especially in the so-called Black community. This thing we call monogamy, this is a new concept to Black people. Whether you want to admit it or not, Whether you want to accept it or not, this is a new concept. This is something that was pushed upon us through oppressors. You hear me? This is European eccentric in origins. And this is a fairly new concept to us as Black people, but we are seeing the dynamics of society. We are seeing the dynamics of issues. We're seeing the dynamics of the evils that's steady increasing in modern society that is forcing women into this dynamic. It's forcing women to have to accept this reality that they're going to have to share a man. They're going to have to share a man. Okay? A lot of deception has been pushed on us. And all of that, I'm an independent woman. I'm a strong woman. I got me a career. I don't need you. All of that type of talk is putting women in a position where they are dying alone. Dying alone. They're dying miserably alone. And they don't understand it, or should I say, they don't want to accept this. That when you look into modern times, they're going to have to share a man. It's going to have to share a man. And women, I ask you a question. I want you to be real with me. I want to ask you a question. Is your pride, is your ego that big enough that you're not willing to share a man? You willing to die alone? You willing to suffer what's about to be pushed on this society? Because the reality of the matter is, what's coming down the pipe, you're going to find yourself exposed without protection. And because of your pride, because of your ego, you're going to be left alone in an easy target. That's just the reality. So I ask you a question. I want you to really deal with this question. Are you willing to share a man or die alone? Or die alone? As Kevin Samuels used to say, winter is coming. Winter is coming. But are you going to be the one that say, listen, this is the reality. I'm not trying to lose. I'm not trying to be defeated. I'm not trying to be out here all alone fending for myself. I'd rather get on board because it's going to happen one way or another. All right? So modern women, I repeat, is going to have to share men. Going to have to share men. And there's 5 things I'm going to talk about, okay? 5 things that I'm going to talk about. That's going to prove to you why modern women are going to have to share men. 5 points. Number 1, the hypergamous nature of a woman is going to force her into this dynamic. It's going to force her into this dynamic. All right? What do you say? Listen, it's going to force women into this dynamic. Right? Women, hypergamous nature within them, according to their biological makeup, forces them to go after the top tier men. This is what hypergamous nature does for a woman. And the fact is, according to statistics, only 10 to 20% of men is top tier. And when you bring that into the equation, that going to show you your hypergamous nature is going to force you have to deal and share a man with somebody else. Your hypergamous nature. This is what you got to understand. You going to go after men that got the income, that got the resources, that's ambitious, that's able to protect you. This is what your hypergamous nature forces you into. All right? And most of the time, that puts you in a position where you have to share a man. Understand, bro in the chat, what's up, bro? Understand that your hypergamous nature is tied to your survival instincts. Your survival instincts, right? And whether you want to admit it or not, society is on a great verge of collapsing majorly. It's going to be another Great Depression. It's going to be another Great Depression. And because it's going to be another Great Depression, your hypergamous nature is going to force you to seek after men who got resources, seek after men who got a steady income coming in, to seek after men who got a shelter, seek after men that's going to be able to protect you. And this is going to be kicker. Not only you going to be seeking after, there's going to be other women. So you're going to have to get rid of your pride. You're going to have to get rid of your ego and say, listen, I want to survive. I want to make it. I don't want to be out here cold. So therefore, I'm going to have to share this man, because your hypergamous nature is going to drive you to do so. Women, you're a survivalist at heart. You're a survivalist. And let's be true, man. Let's be honest. Come on, women, let's be honest. Right? Even if you'll be real, even when you was young, a lot of you women, I especially speak to the women in their 30s and 40s, when you was young, watch this. This is why I prove to a lot of women the hypocrisy that they move in. When you was young, in college, out of high school, who you deal with? Who you deal with? You dealt with men of status, top tier men. And most of you was side chicks to these men. But when you was young, it was not a problem because you was being driven by your hypergamous nature. You told yourself, I'm young, I'm beautiful. And he over there, he got money, he got status. He able to fly me out. I don't care he have a wife. Why? Because your hypergamous nature don't care about monogamy. Women, be real. Your hypergamous nature don't care about monogamy. And we men know that. Men who have status, men who have resources, we know that. We know that. You don't care about monogamy because you want a man of status. And a lot of you women, while you was young, your hypergamous nature put you, right? How you doing, Lucy? Put you in a position to seek after top tier men. Why? Because you was fine. I'm talking about the women that was out of high school and in college. You was fine. You was feminine. You was at your highest sexual market value. You was at your peak. And your hypergamous nature said, no, I'm not about to talk to nobody from the hood. I'm not about to talk to nobody that ain't got nothing going for themselves. I'm in college. I need help. These books is $300. I got to provide food. Rent is due. So I'm not about to deal with no average. I'm going after the top tier men. I don't care he have a wife. I don't care. Because I need resources or I'm going to have to leave college. Right? I need resources or I'm not going to be able to pay for my books. I need resources or I'm not going to be able to get food. So even though a man had a wife or had multiple women, you still dealt with him. Why? Your hypergamous nature drove you to do so. And the time is coming, according to this society with Trump in office, and especially with Trump lead office, this society, this economy is going to be in a mess, a big mess. You're seeing people lose their jobs. You're seeing whole businesses, whole corporations shutting down. And I hate to say this to you women, okay? I hate to say this to you, but I have to be real with you. You're going to be the least one, especially you so-called sister. You're going to be the least one they choose for a job. You're going to be the least one. And because of that, your hypergamous nature that's tied to your survivalist instinct is going to force you to say, listen, is I'm going to allow my pride or my ego get away, or am I going to attach myself to a man who's able to provide and protect? Kuttah Spoke the Truth is only coming on here to give you the truth, to show you and let you know I see where society is going. I see where society is going. So your hypergamy nature, which you was once, and I reiterate, driven by when you was young, especially you women in 30s and 40s, right? Because a lot of you had that mindset, oh, she in her 40s, she can't compete me. I'm better than his wife. He coming all the way, driving to me. He putting money, he giving me the $40. Huh? He putting food on my table. Huh? I don't got to go get food stamps. I got him. Him. And a lot of you women, when you was young, that was your mindset. I don't want this guy. I want your man. I want your man. And unfortunately, and that's why I often tell you guys, man, hold tight, man, hold tight. I know these women feel like they got options. I know they feel like they got the picking of the litter. Huh? I know they don't see you right now. I know they make it seem like you are invisible, but they don't understand what's coming down the pipe. They don't see this Great Depression that's about to hit this place called America. And when this Great Depression hit them, you already seeing reports of women being walked out of their corporate office, no job, right? And I think it was a report I read not too long ago over that's going on in Denver. I think it was Denver, if my memory serves me correctly. Where women, they going into apartments and throwing women, especially sisters, out head first. And they out on the streets. The math is not adding up. The math is not adding up. So when you have to face this harsh reality, your hypergamous nature is going to kick in and it's going to say, you need to survive. If I'm going to be out here and starve, or am I going to go to that man and humble myself and say, I'm going to have to share him. I'm going to have to share. It has nothing to do with your looks. Has nothing to do with your body. Hear me loud and clear. It has nothing to do with your looks. Has nothing to do with your body. You're not going to be able to outlook the next woman. You're not going to be able to outbody the next woman. No, hell no. Because you have to understand male nature. In our mind, we look at you like, if you don't want to be, that's another woman down the street that looks exactly like you. That's why I tell men and women, it's very important for women to start humbling themselves now. Start being feminine now. Start being submissive now. Because they're going to be left behind. And this is what I'm trying to help y'all to see, help y'all to understand. You better get it in your mind. You better set it in your heart that times is coming. And I'm not speaking to all women, okay? But I'm speaking to the vast majority of you women. It's coming to a place where you're going to have to humble yourself and share a man, especially single women. And you got a lot of single women out here talking about, they bat in their weave. I ain't not gonna. Yes, you are. Or you're gonna die alone. You're gonna be out on the streets. You're gonna be out in this wilderness. So your hypergamous nature don't care about monogamy, and then care about monogamy when you was young, and when society collapsed, your hypergamous nature is not going to care then. You're going to be like, I have to survive. I have to survive. And baby, I need your man. I need him to take out my garbage too. I need him to get my car fixed too. I need him to help me pay my rent too. And I hate to tell y'all this, especially for you Christians that don't know the scripture, this is of the Most High. Go study Isaiah 32. Because a lot of you women been careless in your youth, when you should have been locking down a man to make sure that you're secured. And most of the time, man, when you deal with him while he's young and you be loyal to him while he's young, most of the time he eventually just say, no, I just want her. But no. The society willing and men were like, man, to sitting back waiting. I can't wait. Can't wait because you hoes didn't look at me. You hoes didn't. Listen, I'm trying to help you out. Listen, you're going to have to share a man. Your hypergamy nature. Number one, your hypergamy nature is going to force you into this dynamic. This dynamic. The second reason you're going to have to share a man. And you know this. A lot of you know it. A lot of you got to deal with. A lot of you know this. The second reason why you're going to have to share a man, women outnumber men. It's just the truth of the matter. Women outnumber men. Women in just about every society, no matter what nationality you are, women outnumber men. Go look it up. But in the so-called Black community, women outnumber men all that more. And you don't think you ain't gonna have to share a man? Huh? Listen, the time is coming where your career ain't gonna be able to save you. Being a bad B ain't gonna be able to save you. Men is outnumbered by women, especially in the Black community. So that go to show you the pool of who you're going to be able to pick from is very slim. Very slim. Now let's talk about why men is outnumbered by women in the Black community. It's this way in every community, but I'm speaking to you Black women and Black men. Let's talk about it. Prison. A lot of Black men is in prison. I don't care if it's their fault or whatever the case may be. They in there. So they already done slice a piece of the pie. They already took the men that you able to pick from down. They in prison. Number two, violence. Black on Black crime, violence. And most of the Black on Black crime is coming from men against men. So there go another piece of the pie slice. You understanding this? This is what we have to deal with. Then you got another, right? You have another group of men that's addicted to drugs in the Black community. Another piece of the pie slice. Then to be politically correct, I'm going to be politically correct. You have a vast majority of men in our society that turn into the alternative lifestyle. Nah, we going to be real. You know, we got to tell it like the Most High say. They gay, they homos. So you're dealing with men in prison. You're dealing with men, Black on Black, violence, crime. You're dealing with men on drugs, and you're dealing with men that's homos. That means Black men is very, very outnumbered. Outnumbered. So this is forcing you having to deal with the same man. And most women, because they're hypergamy, they want to go after the top tier men, the 10 to 20%. And because of that, you're going to have to share. You're going to have to share. Men is outnumbered. You're going to have to share. And you're going to tell yourself, long as I don't know. A lot of you know men got other chicks. A lot of you know men is dealing with other women. You know it. Why? Because men is outnumbered. It's too many of you women to one man. And it's going to be even worse in these coming days. Mark my words. It's going to be worse. So number two, the reason why you're going to have to share a man because women outnumber men. Women outnumber men. Number three, and this is where a lot of you women is dealing with. And I'm talking about middle-aged women. This is what a lot of you women are dealing with. The reason why you have to share a man, number 3, the feminist movement lied to you. Man, I wish I had my box, man, so I could hit the horn and all that stuff. The feminist movement lied to you. Huh? It drove you to be a career woman. It drove you to that mindset, I can have it all and still have a perfect man. You got your career. You got your status. You got your validation. You did everything the feminist movement told you to do. But yet it left you without the man you want. It left you without the man you want. Because a lot of women who have given to the feminist movement and they became a career woman, became a power woman, a boss lady, a bad bee. Now they done told their mind that psychosis, I have to date somebody on my level. Not realizing the men on your level are few, far in between. And because you have become callous in your heart with the feminist movement, you're not going to go date no bus driver. And there's no shade to no bus driver. Because there's bus drivers that's getting money, that's getting it out the mud. You're not going to date somebody flipping burgers at McDonald's. And again, there's no shade to no man that's flipping burgers, right? No shade, right? You're not going to date somebody that's pushing buggies at Walmart because you gave in to the feminist lie. And you tell yourself, I need somebody on my level. I need somebody just as educated as I am. I need somebody that's making 6 figures or more. And some of the women, you ask them, how much the man got to be making? He needs to be making $200,000, $300,000 or more. He need to be 6'4". You need to be living here. You need to have this much money. Why? Because you gave in to the feminist movement. You gave in to the feminist lie. And this lie play a part in how you see things, your outcome on life, your perspective on life. And because of that, the men that you want is slim. So in order for you to deal with them, you're going to have to share him. You're going to have to share him. You see, the harsh reality. A lot of you women, right, gave in to this feminist movement and it backfired on you. It backfired on you. It backfired big time on you because you was not listening to men. You was not listening to men. Men been telling you, we don't care about your job. We don't care about your degree. We don't care about nothing. Well, we care about fine, fit, and feminine. And you still went out there and now you are in a conundrum. You're in a conundrum. And your homegirls, your besties, in the words y'all like to use, your pride kick in because you on some type of level, you done reach some type of status, and you're not about to bring somebody flipping burgers at Wendy's among your homegirls because you have to keep up with your appearance. And because of that, you have to deal with a man that have other women. Because the top tier men, more than likely, they're going to have other women. Going to have other women. And you want to know, especially when you get in your 30s, especially when you get in your 40s, men done reach status, men done became high value. You definitely going to have to deal with the fact you're going to have to share it because he's going after younger women. That's the reality. And a lot of you women, you get mad but talk about, oh, he wants somebody younger because he can't handle me. No. Let's not forget when you was younger, you was going after older men that was established, that had status. So the dynamics changed. It's a turnaround. Now since he got status, now since he got resources, now since he done became high value, he's going after somebody younger. And if you're going to deal with him, you're going to have to accept the fact he's dealing with younger, more feminine, more submissive, more women that's willing to be cooperative with his program. So modern women, you have to accept the fact you're going to have to share a man. You're going to have to. There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. Cooperation, men, especially men of status, they want peace, right? What do you say? Right? Want peace. We want cooperation. We want women that's feminine. And unfortunately, the feminist movement lied to y'all. Lied to y'all. And this brings me to the fourth point, right? To harp on this third point, the feminist movement. Listen, men with options. And I know, like I said, there's a lot of corny men who who are afraid to speak up, who are afraid to tell the truth. Men with options, men of status is men with options. And they don't play by the rules that has been established by the society. Men with options, they exercise their options, especially when they get status. This is a known fact. And women don't want to accept this reality. Men who have status, men who have influence, men who have power, they move differently. They always have and they always will. So if you're going to deal with them, you're going to have to share them because they're going to exercise their options. This is not only historically, but this is biblically. The kings, they had a harem of women. The rulers, they had multiple wives and concubines. The prophets, multiple wives and concubines. The leaders of society, multiple wives and concubines. Okay? And because this society have programmed a lot of you women not to, in your mind, settle for the average guy. You have to have the top tier guy, right? The guy at the bottom of the chain is invisible. You're going to have to share him because a man with options always going to exercise his options, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. He's going to exercise his options. He's going to. And women today, listen, women today, you know this in your spirit. You know this down deep in your spirit. That's why a lot of women try to control you men. You hear me? It's why a lot of you men, the women you're dealing with, the women that you somewhat got rules and engagement with, right? They are always trying to control you. They always trying to dominate you. And how they do this? With shame and guilt. With shame and guilt. But don't let them use shame tactics. Don't let them use guilt tactics to prevent you from exercising your options. There's nothing wrong. Hear me loud. There's nothing wrong with monogamy. If that's what you prefer, that's so be it. But even then, being in a monogamous relationship, the way the society is going, you're not going to be able to be successful in a monogamous relationship because there's going to be too many women. There's going to be too many women. We're going to get to that. This is one of the points. There's going to be too many women. And these women out here, they are thirsty. They feel it in their bones. Okay? You know, like the prophet Jeremiah said, fire shut up in their bones. These women feel it in their bones that they're about to be left behind. And while they are on social media acting like they are bad B, posting all these pictures, they know they are in trouble. They know they're in trouble. And you're seeing more and more apps of polygamy. You're seeing more and more apps of black couples share. You're seeing more and more of the apps because a lot of people is waking up to this reality like, man, shit, we might as well do something about it now. We might as well get ourselves ready for it now. It's going to be done. Okay? And I know you're man, no, I just want to deal with one headache. I understand it. But there's going to be a lot of men who are going to have to deal with multiple women. It's just going to be that. It's going to be that because you're going to exercise your options. You're going to exercise your options. And one day my uncle and my daddy used to say, okay, I don't know why I have this on. Hold up a second, y'all. Testing. All right, testing. All right, that sounds better. Listen, one day my daddy and uncle used to say, and man, you may feel like I'm telling on you, but it's time for us to tell the truth. We can't keep sparing women's feelings. I sound like the old folk women's. No, women, you can't keep sparing their feelings. You can't. You're going to have to be true with them. Men is only as faithful as his options. Just like women. Women's only faithful as their options. Their options. Especially when they're young. You see this every day when they're young. They're only as faithful as their options. And there's something with these men. I'm telling you, women, I'm trying to help you out. There's something with their men. When things turn around, they will get you back. And I see the society where men is going to begin a lot of you women back, especially how you conducted yourself and behaved yourself while you was young. While you was young. The get back, the clap back is coming. And men who have options is going to be exercising those options. Now watch this. Women secretly know this. Women secretly know this. According to Psychology Today, they did a survey. They asked a bunch of women. Women, what is one of the most important things you look for in a man in a relationship? Watch this. They said loyalty. They want a man that's loyal to them. Right? But this is how Psychology Today caught women up in their hypocrisy. Watch this. You want a man to be loyal to you. But then they asked them another question. They said, no, I want a man that other women won't. Come on, guys. You know you hear this. You hear a lot of women saying, I don't want a man that other women don't want. But yet you want a man to be loyal to you. But at the same time, you want a man other women don't want. So down in their spirit, they understand this. They know this. They know this. And we call it, in the red pill community, pre-selection. That's why women only go after a certain caliber of men, pre-selection. They only going to go after men other women won't. This is a known fact. This is part of their biological makeup. This is how they base value. This is how they base status off of it. If other women want him, then there's something about him that I need to be tied myself to. You hear it all the time. I want a man to be loyal to me, but I don't want a man that other women don't want. It's hypocrisy. So down deep in their spirit, they know they're going to have to share a man. The modern day woman going to have to share a man. We call it pre-selection. Pre-selection. That's why they gravitate towards men that's already, got something going on. Already got something going on. Right? And to point out the last point, because Kuttah spoke the truth as an advocate for the scripture. Listen, it's prophesied. It's prophesied, rather, that you women is going to have to share a man. You Christians that don't know the Bible, that don't understand prophecy, that don't understand the times that we are living in, and what the prophet said, we're heading there and we are there, that we even at the door. When you study Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, it says, 7 women. Now let me go back up to I believe it was the third point when it says, second point, women outnumber men. That's one of the points I say you're going to have to share a man. Women outnumber men. Listen, the prophet says in Isaiah 4:1, 7 women should grab a hold of one man in that day, saying, marry us. Let us be your wife and take away our reproach so we don't be an old maid. You know what an old maid is? Anybody know what an old maid is? An old maid is somebody that's up in their 30s and their 40s, according to the Bible, according to what the Most High say, not according to what Kuttah spoken to. An old maid is somebody that's in their 30s and 40s that past the flower of their age. The biological clock done set in. They're at risk to have babies, right? Their womb is spilled milk, spoiled milk, right? So now that they're in their 30s, now that they're in their 40s, and they won't, right? They won't. somebody to come and save them. And the Most High prophesied that the times was going to come in the last days. We're living in the last days where he said, listen, 7 women literally going to grab hold of one man saying, let us be your wife. Take away our reproach. Take away our reproach. Now, some people are going to be like Vivica Vox. They're going to die alone. And it's their prerogative, so be it. Right? Even when you study 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 33, it talk about how the bride is going to mourn because there's no bridegrooms. That day is coming. That day is coming when Third World War III come, because it's going to come, whether you want to accept it or not. And the travesties of war, right? When many is put to death. And let me tell you this. There were 3 men, right? Hold up a second. Hold up. All right, my bad. I'll be back. Hold up. My bad, people. Sorry for the intermission. My bad, man. All right. Where was I? No, there was three individuals. Look it up. You maybe be able to type it in where it says man had a vision of the YNs going to war, young men going to war. And it was a man, it was 2 men, and it was 1 woman having vision about war coming to America, which is already prophesied in the Bible, right? And they said in this war, many men, especially men in our community, was being put to death left and right because they didn't know how to be inept, or they was not properly trained for war. The draft came and it was a need for them to go to war immediately. He said in the dream he saw they only had 2 weeks, and they were like, no, we need them, send them. And they said they got onto the battlefield, they was being put to death left and right. Death left and right. And you don't see what's going on with Russia. You don't see what's going on with the BRIC nations. You don't see what's going on with Israel. You don't see how America slowly but surely is getting pushed and pushed closer and closer to join the war that's going on over there? And it's going to be a draft. It's going to be one. This is prophesied in the book of Esdras. Esdras 15, Esdras 16. And that's why the prophet came and told you, said, look here, in that day, 7 women, 7. And the reason why the prophet says 7 means completion. 7 means whole. There's going to be a whole lot of women that's going to grab hold. And one man said, we're scared. We don't have many people. We don't have many men. There's not many people out here that's going to take care of us. Daddy is gone. Brother is gone. He was put to death. Can we please be your wife? Okay? But let me read it verbatim. I read it verbatim. I'm going to read it from two different translations. All right? We just on here talking why modern women going to have to share men. Okay? I gave you 4 points, but you can't get around this 5th point. This is what the Bible prophesied. All right? Let me go there. I'm reading in 2 different translations. Listen to King James Version. For those of you like me who love the Old Faithful King James Version says, Isaiah 4:1, in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by their name to take away our reproach. What it means to be called by a man's last name? What do it mean? It means to be his wife. But for those of you that say, no, it's not quite clear, just talk about 7 women going to grab hold of one man. I don't see the word marrying it. Well, let's go to the New Living Translation. The New Living Translation. Isaiah 4:1 said, in that day, so few men would be left that 7 women. 7 women In that day, so few men would be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. Exclamation mark. We would provide our own food, clothing, only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. So we don't be mocked as old maids. And who is being mocked right now? This is not to belittle nobody. This is not to degrade nobody. We're dealing with spiritual truth right here on this last point. Who's been mocked right now? Women that's in their 30s, that's in their 40s, that's not married. They being mocked. Why you not married? Why you single? Huh? If you as good as you claim you are, why you don't have no man? If you're a bad beat like you, why you have no man? Why nobody take you serious? Why nobody put a ring on your finger? Women in their 40s, 50s, they're being mocked. This is what the scripture prophesied. And we have a lot of old maids who are going to have to humble themselves, who are going to have to get rid of pride, and they're going to have to say, okay, we are in these times. Let me go find, listen, sister, I'm your sister. I'm your sister. Okay? I'm your sister. That's why you see more and more shows coming out talking about sister wife. Listen, I'm going to be a sister wife. And we're going to work together. We're going to make sure he's good. We're going to make sure his nutsack is empty. But we're going to provide our own way. We're going to help him build an empire. Your 30, don't worry, sister. Your 40,000 a year is going to help contribute. I'm making 60,000. She making 70,000. She making 80,000. And our man, he making 100,000. So let's bring all our resources together so we can survive. This is what the Most High says is going to happen in this day coming. We already in that day. To be frank with you, we already there. But there's a lot of you men that don't know the scriptures. There's a lot of you men that don't know the times we're living in. There's a lot of you women that don't know the times we're living in. You don't want to get rid of your pride. You don't want to get rid of your ego. And because you outnumber men so much, you are freaking dying alone. You're dying alone. Do you want this to be your plight? Huh? I'm telling you, a lot of you about to lose your job. You want this to be your plight? I hate to be harsh like that, but this is what the scripture says. They're losing their jobs day in, day out. I hear so many stories of women. One woman, okay, she had 3 kids. I ain't gonna say her name. Her name is not important. One woman had 3 kids. And it got so rough for her that she said she downsized. She got out of her house and downsized to a smaller place, okay? And after she downsized, she said she started paying more in bills than she did when she had a house. And she cried and she complained about how hard it is. Sister, you better find somebody that's willing to allow you to be a sister wife. In our community, look at some of your aunties. Look at some of your aunties. They died alone. They died alone. Unfortunately, a lot of our mamas, our mothers, they died alone. The stress of having to fend for kids in this day and time, the stress, the burden of having to do it all by themselves. They so damn prideful. They rather stress themselves out. They rather be overburdened because I'm an independent woman. I'm part of the feminist movement. I can't do it. But yet they clocking out of here early. Because they so prideful saying, I can't share a man, but you rather die broke. You rather die in poverty. Wish that's the same thing, but be as a man. You rather die alone. Your bed is cold. You get sick, nobody's there at the hospital with you. Because you don't want to humble yourself. You don't want to be a woman that that know that they're going to have to give in to this paradigm. And unfortunately, you're going to be cold. It's cold out here. I spoke the truth for telling you it's cold. You're going to die alone. You're going to. And the Most High said, in that day, 7 women. And fellas, I know a lot of fellas logging on, talk about, I saw one fella, man, 7 women. Oh, I don't want that headache. They're not going to be a headache. They're not going to be a headache. They're going to be some of the most humbling women because they're not going to want to be outside. It's cold outside. No, I ain't talking about it snowing. No, I'm not. No, I'm talking about it's cold outside. This world, this economy in America has been squeezed so much. Don't you know? And I prophesied to y'all a while back, and it's happening. I think it was last year. Don't you know they're behind the scenes? And they are telling these corporations, find a way to go more lean. Find it. The resources is drying up. Find a way to go more lean. Cut more jobs. And like I said early on in this message, when they cut the jobs, unfortunately, to bring it to the confines of the Black community, unfortunately, sisters, they're not going to pick you first. Sisters, you're going to be the last one they pick when these jobs get tight and they got to hire somebody. You're going to be the last one they picking. They're going to be the last. You're going to be the last one. I hate to say that. Because a lot of these jobs, even though it's been replaced by AI and robots, it's still going to require manual labor. They're still going to want to meet quota. And if they're going to have to demonstrate they're picking, sisters, you're going to be the last one picked. They're getting rid of corporate jobs more than ever before. The office jobs, they are getting rid of them. They're getting rid of them. I watched a video on, I believe it was CBC. Is that CBC? Whatever the case may be. CBS, rather. Whatever the letters is. And they showed a video of 100,000 women being walked out of their jobs. Cut. It's cold. And the Most High say, listen, I'm squeezing this Babylonian system, this matrix system. And more of you going to have to grab a hold of to one man and say, let us be your wife. It's cold out here. And when war really hit, and when famine really hit, because there's going to be a great famine out here. You're already seeing it. It's going to be a famine out here. When a famine hit, and you all by yourself, and you hear that knock on the door, you're going to wish, man, I wish I had a man in here. Because they're going to come in and hit. They're going to take everything. They're going to open your fridge. They're going to be like, my family hungry. Give me your. Then you're going to be there dwindling away because of your pride, because of your ego. Why do you think 2/3 going to be cut off? All of this factors into the 2/3 that Zechariah chapter 13 talk about being cut off. All of it is factored in. So to reiterate, why modern women going to have to share men is your hypergamous nature. Number one, is going to drive you to do so. Number two, women outnumber men. You outnumber men. Our men is in prison. Our men is being turned into alternative lifestyles. They're homos. All right? They are baculars. I'm going to have a lot of people saying that, okay? Baculars, not Dracula. You're bacular. The feminist, number three, the feminist movement lied to you. Lied to you. Number four, men is going to exercise their options because men still got that get even spirit within them, especially towards you sisters, how you treated them when you was young. So they're going to exercise their options. They're going to say, okay, you could be on my team. You in your 30s, you could be on my team. But just like you was a side chick to these men of status, Because the vast majority of our women in our society, I know this firsthand because I had some of them. Okay? When I was building status and whatnot, I know what I'm talking about. Just like you was a side chick to a married man, okay? These same men that got status, they're going to tell you, you can be on my team, but you best to know I'm going to have younger women on my squad. I'm going to have younger women on my roster. Just like when you was younger, you was on another man roster as a side chick, I'm going to have younger women. See, nobody want to deal with this reality. Nobody want to deal with this truth. You want us to come on here and sugarcoat you. No, I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you truth. So don't you get mad. Don't you go shedding no tears. Huh? You didn't think about that man you played when you let your hypergamy nature get the best of you because you wanted to survive. Because your hypergamy nature, again, is tied to your survival. You didn't think about that man feelings. You left because you needed to make yourself through college, get yourself through college. You had rent, whatever the case may be. You was a side chick then. So men is going to exercise their options, and they're doing it. You're seeing it more and more. You're seeing more and more. Man, you got so many people. You got. Before you left, you had Kevin Samuels, you got AMS, you got Dr. BOA, you got Corey Holcomb, you got a lot of people telling you, you better listen here. You think this thing that's being repeated over and over, you think this is a man? No, this is of the Most High. And a lot of you played yourself. You should have said, I ain't finding we can build together. This is what you should have been saying. No, we gonna build together. I'm not gonna let somebody. What he saying? What's your thoughts on National Socialism? Yeah, I got a message. I'm putting confirmation that I need to talk about it. All right. But a lot of you women, listen, while you were young, you didn't think about that man's feeling. That guy who really wanted to be with you, who really took you serious. You thought he was a lame because he was still trying to build himself up. You still were trying to get status while you already had status because you was young, fit, feminine, fine. But you didn't think about him. No. He don't got nothing going for himself. You should have linked yourself to him and build. You would have been more secure. A lot of you women would have been more secure, but no, I don't want him. Wish you would have been your man for 10, 15 years. Because whether you believe it or not, men want to be married. Men want to be married. It's just that they done been burnt so much, they done been tricked so much, they done been hoodwinked so much, they got to the point, I'm not doing it. I know them days is over. I done seen how y'all did. That's what they telling you, man. I know what, because I talked to a lot of them, okay, because of my profession, all right? It used to be a time when I had to counsel. I had to do a lot of counseling in the church. I used to have to do a lot of counseling in the church. I used to have to counsel men and women. So this is why I ain't able to come on here and tell you. I'm not going to tell you their name and stuff, right? I remember one time I had to counsel a woman. She ended up being a homo because of, well, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to talk about that, why a lot of women is turning to women, right? But this is what men has been telling me. Listen, I'm not, them days is over. Especially men that got status, especially men that done made it. Why you think they got the son? Back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all own me. That's reality. Even Tupac said, I remember going in the same clubs before he got fame. They didn't want me, but now I got fame, all the bitches want me. This is what men, and the Most High had turned, he's turning the tables. That's unfortunate. So number 4, like I said, men is exercising their option. And number 5, no, it don't even matter if the first 4 points is being done. The 5th one is nothing. It's not going to, nothing can stop it. This is the Most High. The Most High told you, listen, 7 women gonna grab hold with 1 man. It's just reality. But brother, National Socialist, we're gonna do a message on it. We'll come back and talk about it. I'm assuming he'll eat a mic, right? Because most black people You know, they don't know nothing about socialism. They don't know nothing about globalism. They don't know nothing about capitalism. They don't know nothing about any ism. Because they don't want to do research. One thing C.L. Franklin said, you want to hide something from a black man? And C.L. Franklin was a national known black preacher. He said, you want to hide something from a black man, black woman, put it in a book. Because we too busy listening to these wicked music, these wicked celebrities, these demons, when we should be in the book. First and foremost in the Most High book, then pick up another book and do research. Because Jeremiah chapter 16 said we inherit lies. The worst thing, they tell you smoking is bad in itself, but secondhand smoking is worse than smoking itself. And I'm here to tell you, secondhand information, that's one of the worst things. You inherit lies. So yeah, my man, we'll come back and talk about globalism. We're going to talk about, I know a lot of y'all going to get mad at me for this, but I'm going to talk about why Adolf Hitler was a good leader. And if you, as a man, would implement some of the characteristics and qualities that Adolf Hitler implemented, you can build an empire. You can be successful. I'm going to talk about all of it, man. All right. They lied about Adolf Hitler anyway in these schools. But yeah, man, thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Kuttah Spoken Truth had to come on here live. This message was brewing in my heart. Okay, because I know the times that we're living in. I see where society is going. A lot of my people is not paying attention to how this economy is collapsing. A lot of people are not paying attention to what the BRIC nation is doing, the BRICS nation. You know what the BRIC nation in Brazil, right? Russia, India, China, South Africa. You don't see what they're going. They're getting ready to collapse this American dollar. American dollar is not backed by gold. So the BRIC nations are already coming together and they already are establishing their own money system, monetary system that's going to totally collapse the American dollar. You're going to have to deal with the central banking, digital central banking. You're going to have to deal with that. And they already did a trial where they freeze up. I believe, I forget what nation they did it in, what country they did it, but they froze up everybody money in the bank. And they was going into panic. That same thing is going to happen here because the American dollar is going to be collapsed. And a lot of you women that pride yourself on careers and I'm a bad bee and I'm a bad this and I'm a boss lady, what you going to do when they collapse your dollar? Huh? All right, thank you, brother. Venezuela, that's where they did it. Right? I thank you for that help. Yeah, I advocate for crypto. I got some crypto. I'm trying to get one of my brothers. My oldest brother, he big into crypto, man. Right now, you better take advantage of crypto before they collapse that. A lot of people begin to be rich off crypto. All right? So get into it. I wish my brother would come on here and do this podcast with me so he could talk about crypto, man. Kobe, man, come on, man. Come on. People need to know about crypto so they can try to maximize their money while they can, man. You only got a short time. 10 years at the most to get rich, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're right. Let me tell you, what's your name? Jama Mama. Listen, me and my brother, he might be on. Me and my brother, we was working at UPS, and this guy came to us and talk to us. We into stocks now. I got 5 Fortune 100s. I can tell you all the stocks I have. I only deal with dividend stocks. Okay, listen, I'm taking risks. I don't care. I'm taking risks. So I'm dealing with all the dividend stocks, and I got a list of them. I got one stock. I got 2 stocks right now that pays me dividends every month. You know, most stocks don't pay dividends only quarterly. But I got 2 stocks that pay me dividends every month. I'm gonna come on here and talk about it, man. But when we was at UPS, man, the guy was telling us to do the same thing, to get it to crypto, man. I wish I would have seized the opportunity because I'd be rich now too. But hey, I got stocks now. Right? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Got stocks now. But the dollar's going. And let me tell you this, the only thing that's keeping the American dollar afloat right now, which a lot of people don't understand, go fact check me. The only thing that's keeping the American dollar right now, because the American dollar is not backed by gold, the only thing that's keeping it afloat right now is oil. They made a pact behind scenes that anybody that's going to be purchasing oil from the Middle East, it has to be paid with the American dollar. It has to be paid with the U.S. monetary system. That's the only thing that's keeping the American dollar afloat right now. But once that agreement runs out, oh man, you better have some crypto. You better have some money, some pesos, and what they call that other stuff. You better have it. You better come on, sisters. You better wake the hell up. Because once they collapse that city, I know a lot of you sisters, you don't know how to start a fire. A lot of you sisters don't know how to clean water. If you have to go out in the wilderness and clean water, a lot of you don't know. I do. I know a lot of you don't know how to hunt. The sight of blood and the sight of shooting an animal to eat, that grosses you out. So a lot of you going to be in trouble. That's why 7 women going to grab hold of one man saying, let us be your wife. Let us be your wife. But anyway, until the next video. All right, peace.